Hello and welcome to the Shamanic Heartspace podcast. I'm Nancy Amor, a medicine woman and traditional shamanic practitioner. I teach people to manage their expanding consciousness at this interesting time here on planet Earth. In this episode, I'll be channeling the energy for the upcoming lunar cycle to give you a heads up of what you might expect and how to navigate what could come up for you during this time. I invite you to be aware while listening of any of your own messages that might come through to you directly. So please take some time out just for yourself, get into the receiving mode, and only take what resonates with your personal journey. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's see what messages want to come through. This Libra new moon will be coming in the 25th of September 2022. Just want to shout out to those Libra sun signs. Happy birthday. I'm recording this on September the 11th, 2022. And just to make you aware that sometimes when I'm channeling, it causes me to yawn just like this. So sorry if I make you yawn. But sometimes my voice or tone can change throughout this process. Although that is getting less so. And just to remind you, I'm not an astrologer. Okay, I always like to start by saying the parts of the body that could be affected at this time. Just if things are moving. It doesn't have to be anything serious, but you may notice some changes around the kidneys, the lower back. So a good tea you could use, maybe green tea, and making sure to do those daily stretches, keeping everything in working order. Okay, here we go. So first message I put out was I like to try and get the themes down first. So I just asked what themes would be coming through over this moon. It's quite an extensive list. So the first one that's coming through is it's a time for purging. So that means that some things can be leaving your life, maybe leaving your body as well, depending on what stage you're at in your process. Okay. Okay, we're aligning once more with the galactic center. That's the center of 30 galaxies, enormous amount of energy on us, on planet Earth right now, wherever you feel like your soul is from. A lot of the time we're spending time here on Earth in this body. So all eyes are on us right now. It's probably no surprise if you're here listening to this, you know we're in the middle of a huge change collectively and individually. Okay, still focusing on the themes is kind of, it's like a reminder about us needing to be really, really conscious and thinking galactically, as galactic citizens. This is the next stage of evolution to some extent. Okay. Just receiving some messages. Okay. All right. So this is kind of what we've been waiting for. So this is the kind of the tidal wave we've been waiting for. Big changes around authority, money. Okay, so there's likely to be a stop and start energy around internet, food supplies, natural events, nature's events. But it's all building up to radical breakthrough. More and more people are, lighting up, coming online, remembering that they're part of the cosmic web. Okay. They want the messages don't get lost in the speed of things. More information is coming. But we need to be able to receive it. So There's an important theme here of not wasting energy, especially in the mental processes. Watching out for reactivity. Don't react to too much stuff. Be aware of, popping off. Take a step back and use this energy to step into something higher. Something higher. They're showing me the eagle, the condor, this sort of bird's eye view of things to watch, to sit back. Also, like the jaguar, conserving your energy. And there's a message of the return of many old ways of being, but, with a modern twist. Okay. All right. So, new beginnings. This is a good time for new beginnings. There's a fresh start for many people. But first, a lot of us are having to go over some old ground. So maybe something you thought you were done with, an old wound opening up, an old person coming back into your life. Yes, that's been happening. So this is a chance to double check about making the right choices, learn the lessons, that there's nothing else left in that cupboard that you thought you cleaned. Message for not feeding into duality, right and wrong, black and white, separation. Everything is one, everything is whole. And many people are learning to hold all of that, to step away from, definitely from the right and wrong sort of attitude, mentality, even to an extent, the light and dark. But it's all we know, so it's kind of difficult to have language and vocabulary around that. It's more of a feeling, it's more of a concept of like this and that can be true. Both of us are holding a different version of the same thing. It literally said it's all real and it's all true, but it's all not. Hold that if you can. All right, so big support in reprogramming harmony. Understanding what is causing your personal disharmony and imbalance. So don't rush, don't push anything. Allow your energy to settle. It will eventually settle if you sit still long enough. Okay, so you might really be looking at how far you've come. This is a really good time for that as well. We're approaching the end of a year. We can say a lot about calendars that I won't go into now. But as we approach another equinox, more importantly. So it's a really good time for looking at really how much you've been through, really taking stock for, depending what hemisphere you're in, the harvest. There's loads of stuff on Patreon I've put up about the equinox. I don't want to bring that into this episode because we'll just be here all day. So finding balance in being of service, but also finding your place to recharge your energy. And where is that? They're showing me an image of Ayers Rock. I've never been there. This is to do with the ancients and... Okay, hold on. Walk your dreams. Don't rush, don't push, Just walk the path of your dreams, okay? And the dreams will come into reality. Okay. So there's a lot of untamable energy around in the ether. A bit renegade. Okay, they're telling me lots of planets are in retrograde. I don't know because I'm not an astrologer, but this is exactly what they've said to me. So a lot of planets are in retrograde. This is kind of freeing up a lot of space, and then just these energies are coming in that are quite challenging in some ways. Stuff that's coming from other people, gossip seems to be around. So a detachment, that attitude of detachment is probably going to be quite necessary if you don't want things to get messy. You might be feeling quite easily triggered. I've had to really control that myself, actually. Being aware of who drains you. Okay. Something's opening up. 7 months. So your social circles could change unrecognizably. Maybe your community, the people that you feel close to. It's connected in with creativity. So I think this is to do with building new communities, new structures, co-creating. And so, well, it is time to let some things die in our lives as we shift into a new quality of being that's more beneficial. Okay. So between now and into 2023, a lot more is going to happen in the collective, things that we will be made aware of. So again, that message of being mindful of any external media that you may be engaging with or people who are into that. And then eclipse season. Okay. So it's really important to be grounded, to be intentional and in your highest good so that you don't feel affected by this stuff. Ultimately, everything is going to be okay. Don't get too much into the head. Don't get too much into the fear, especially around fear of lack. We need to pull together. It kind of sounds worse than it is. It's what they're saying to me. We don't need to be afraid. Okay, mentioning Equinox again. So, yeah, Equinox. Equinox. I'm not going to go into it here. So, what are you ready for? What are you ready to do differently? And where have you lost your balance, your peace, so that you can look into regaining those areas, Okay, there's likely to be a lot around relationships coming up, all kinds of relationships. Are you ready to do relationships differently? Any more on that? Okay, that's going to be different for everybody. And they're talking about all kinds of relationships. Your relationship to your environment, the people you work with, your friends, your intimate partner, the earth, yourself. Okay, so solutions are coming. All right, so don't resist the urge to sit with something. So sit with stuff. And that's how you get clarity. Getting soreness in my throat talking about this. I think a lot more people are going to find their voice in this process. But it's important to find and use your voice in a calm way, from the heart, not from the ego. Yeah, especially with energy of confusion coming in, misinformation. Turn off the noise, long-standing theme. So much coming at us, but we really have to just master that inner tranquility, because the support is available for you to become empowered if you want it. If you want it, a lot of people deep down, they don't want to take responsibility for their empowerment. They want to blame outside stuff and people for the reason their lives are not how they want them to be, blah, blah. But if you want to step into that power and take responsibility, this is a really great time to do it. Rituals on the equinox, that moment of night and day being equal. Okay. So really focusing on what you need to focus on for your highest good. It's likely that a lot of perceptions are going to change. Maybe there's been a bit of the rug being pulled from under you. Um, but everything, we need to try and remember, even in those darkest moments, somehow, some way, these things are happening for our highest good. It's going to be hard for some people to hear. But I know I walk that line every day. Okay, so it's been a very introspective time. The energy is still there going forward. Still a lot of introspection. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. They don't want me to see it. The shadows coming to the light. They're actually showing me the Globe Theatre in London and the actors behind the stage. It's a weird visual metaphor, to be honest. I haven't had that one before. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. It's like we've just got no script to go off anymore. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to just step out into the light and we're going to just give it our best. That's the message. Okay. A lot of people will have been life auditing, assessing. It's a definitely an upward moving energy, but also heavy. Okay. We're just all on this continual becoming a better version of you, especially in those relationships. So some things are going to naturally fall away. That's the cycle of life. That's the cycle of nature. But you've changed. Yeah, so a lot of things, or some things, they're just not going to come with you. That's okay. So is there anything that you're already aware of? You know that you want to change. You want to start setting the intention for that. Very analytical energy, being in the head. So try to not be in the head too much. You'll get distracted away from your heart. So much going on in the external. If you need to step away from the social media, the this, the that, the other, do it. The biggest thing I'm getting from this is to not get swept away in whatever is going on outside. Because, yeah, of course, to an extent. So within, so without. People come along, situations come along to show us what's going on inside ourselves. But if we can control the ego in how we see, how we perceive, that is really what that means. So it's about your focus, your inner balance. Okay. All right, so yeah. Support coming our way for finding what matches your frequency so that you can pick up your power, so that you can stand in your power and be a leader. If you've been sacrificing yourself, your needs too much, if there's been jealousy, bitterness, judgment, it's likely you can see or will see soon a way to let go of that. Maybe that resonates with you. At the end of the day, it's all got to come from love, unconditional love. And when you find that solution within yourself, it is for your highest good and the highest good of all. All right, so I think a lot of people may be feeling a bit frazzled, a bit tired right now, maybe feeling confused, but also ready to make those big choices, those big decisions that will work out. And even if that does mean doing an about turn or a U-turn, being okay with that. Things are really getting to the root of the matter, whatever's been kind of going on. So just, be ready to stand in your power, stand in your energy and say, yeah, well, maybe I am changing directions. I'm what? I can do what I want. So if you're not already in that space of, right, I'm ready to take action, you will be soon. Okay, so there's a clear and precise energy and movement on the horizon. But first, just sitting through this period of perhaps old themes coming up, having to look within and find some courage. If you have been sort of tracking your life, your progress, this is a really good time to look back at your journal or however you keep a record. Maybe to the last Libra new moon or even full moon. And now you might be able to shed some more light on whatever was going on then. You might recognize something that was trying to come out of the shadow then that you're able to deal with now. There's something about really being reflective at the moment. It's this really important. All right, so to be intentional, to be detached if needed. When you're spending time with yourself, considering how you want to feel. Do you want to feel drained, as perhaps you have been feeling, or full of energy? So, so you can focus on your endeavors, on the things that you want to focus on. And that just takes direction, intentional energy. And you don't have to have all the answers. We're not supposed to have all the answers because we're on a journey. Hello, darling. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I hope you found it helpful. If you would like to hear more, there's an extended version available over on Patreon, along with lots of other podcasts and info about Mercury retrograde and the Equinox and all kinds of things, regular moon ceremonies, tips. I've got a little community over there on the Shamanic membership to just help each other along in a protected space away from the noise. So it'd be lovely if you want to come and join us over there. We would love to have you. And thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. And I wish you a very peaceful Libra new moon. I look forward to catching up with you at some point. If you're doing your own rituals around this moon or around anything, I'd love it if you would tag me, because I love to learn about what other people are doing, and it's a great way to share with people new ways to do this work, or ways that might be new to them. So that would be awesome. Some of you may have noticed I had to make my Instagram a little bit more private. I had a bit of an issue with that, but if you are waiting for me to let you in, just send me a little private message. Also got a dieta in November. That means working with ayahuasca out here in Peru, various other bits and pieces. So yeah, Facebook and Instagram, I'm at Shamanic Heartspace, and the website is shamanicheartspace.org. And I will also be popping back to London, the UK, towards the end of the year for a little spell. If you want to work with me in various ways, therapy, shamanic work, whatever you like. So sending you lots and lots of love. So grateful for you being here at this time on the planet. And hopefully I will see you soon at the Maloka. Take care.